Today I will share how to configure basic interface in Palo Alto Firewall. But before we go on the configuration on the firewall, I will discuss first the current network setup on this laboratory. As you can see, we do have a firewall in here where we have the trust interface, which is same as the inside interface in Cisco, and untrust interface, which is the same with the outside interface, which is facing to the internet. And I am connected to this firewall using this PC through this management interface, and later we're going to configure this ETH 1/2 and ETH 1/1.200 sub interface. So in here, as you can see, we will also going to configure a DHCP server on the firewall, and this will provide the IP address on this PC. The first thing that we are going to configure is the zone, which include the trust interface and the untrust interface. After that, we are not going to discuss that one on this laboratory. That would be this PC should be able to go on the interface, and then on that specific laboratory we will need to configure the NAT in here, because as you can see in here, in the real world scenario, this outside interface or the untrust interface, this should be a public IP, and then on the trust interface, which is the inside, this is a private IP address. So if this PC will need to reach the internet, it will go into pass-through on the firewall and need to be NATed in order to reach the internet. Okay, so let's go now on the firewall to start the configuration. The first step that we need to do is we need to configure the zone, like I have said earlier. So we need to go on the network. Then as you can see, these are the zones. We just need to click add. Then let's configure first the untrust interface. And then as you can see, we do have a type in here, but we are going to use a layer 3. Then just click OK. We need to add now the trust interface, which like I said earlier, this is the same as the inside interface in Cisco, but in here it is working differently, because in Cisco ASA, as you could remember, we need to define security in there, which is the higher the security, it will not able to pass the traffic, right? For example, if you have a 0, which is actually that is the one facing to the internet, and your network is a 100, 0 going to 100, it will not going to be permitted to that interface. That is for Cisco, but in here it's working differently. You are able to see that later. We're done with the configuration and the network zones. So Now we are also going to configure a management profiles. If we are going to go on the diagram, like I have said earlier, we are currently configuring here, but some of the company in the real world, they want to have the management on this interface. So that is the time that we will going to configure manually the profile management on the firewall, so that the client or any user in here will able to access on this interface based on the requirements. Okay, in there we also need to go to the network and then network profiles under interface management. Yes. Then we need to click add, do allow management, NGD. We're going to include ping, SSH. By the way, for the management of Palo Alto Firewall, ping, SSH, and HTTPS is by default. Okay, and let's add another one. This profile management, we will put this one on the untrust interface, so that only ping is will be allowed. Ping only. Okay. After we configure the zones and the interface management, the next thing that we are going to configure is the interfaces. Yep, in order to configure the interface, we need to go on the Ethernet. Then, as you can see, this is the interface. So, what is our internal interface? Let's go back on the diagram. Okay, our internal interface is ETH12. This one. Click this one. As you can see, it is configured to layer 2 and we need to change it to layer 3. Layer 3. Then this, since this is the inside interface, we will put this one on the trust L3, which is the trust zone. And then we're going to configure the IP addresses. Just click on the IPv4 tab and then click add. 192.168.22.1/24. Just click enter. Then we're going advanced, so that we're going to add the management profile that we created earlier. For this one, we're going to put the allow management, which includes ping, HTTPS, and SSH. And just click OK. Then we need to click the outside interface or the external interface, which is Ethernet 1.1. If you will look on this network setup, as you can see, this one should be configured as a sub interface. So in here, we just need to put this interface type on in layer 3. Click OK. And then in order for us to configure a sub interface, first highlight this interface, which I already did. and just click the add sub interface. Yep, this is the layer 3 sub interface. All we have to do is to put the tagging in here, which is 222. Just make it the same so that for troubleshooting purposes. Then this one is Untrust L3, since this is the one that is facing to the internet. IPv4, click static, and then add the IP address, which is 172.16.22.1/24. Enter, and then go to advanced like we did earlier to choose for the management profile. Allow ping. Only ping will be allowed on this outside interface or external interface. Then click OK. Okay, we already configured the interface. The next thing that we should configure in here is the virtual routers for routing, and just need to click the virtual routers on the left side and click add. Okay, in here just put a name, student BR. Then in here on the general tab, we need to add the interfaces, which is 1, 2, and the sub interface. It should be the sub interface because it is where the layer 3 is configured, or where the IP address is configured. Then go to static routes. Hold on. Okay, static routes, then just click add. We're just going to use the default route. Okay, destination would be, oh sorry, that's 0. Then select the IP address. Oh, interface. Cancel. Oh, hold on. Click it again. Default destination 0.0.0.0/0. Then IP address. Next hop would be 172.16.22.254. Click OK. Then just click OK. Here, as you can see, this is the next hop. So from the firewall going to the internet, if I want to go to internet, I need to define this next hop. Okay. Okay, we're done on the configuration of the interface, but like I said earlier, we will also going to do DHCP server on this firewall, so that it will going to give an IP address on this PC. So if you are going to look on the PC right now, IP config, so that we are able to compare later, we do have 192.168.22.51. This is the current IP. Okay, we need to go to network, and where is the DHCP? Here. Then just click add. Interface name. Hold on, internal interface. Yep, it should be Ethernet 1.2, right? Mode, it should be enabled. Ping IP when allocating new IP, right? This should be, we should check this one so that there will be no duplicate IP address. Let's do have a timeout, or at least 2 days or 3 days, whatever is on the policy. Then IP pools, we need to add pools in here, so that would be 192.168.22.50 to 192.168.22.60. Just click enter. Go to options tab. Here's the gateway. Gateway would be 192.168.22.1, and then /24 255.255.255.0, and just click OK. Yep, we're all done. So the next step that we should do is to commit the configuration. Actually, this Palo Alto Firewall, it is almost the same with Juniper's, where we need to commit so that the configuration that we did will going to take effect. Commit. Yep, actually we're all done. So the next thing that we need to do is to test the DHCP server, but for the interface, it is already configured. Hold on, as you can see, there are some error in here. Yeah, as you can see, it says 17.16.22 where it should be 172. So what is good in the commit? It will going to tell you the details if there is any failed result. We just need to go to network under virtual routers, and then click this one again and look for the errors that it mentioned earlier, which is the here. Okay, just need to click this one and add. It should be 172.16.22.254. Click OK. Okay, and then let's do a commit again. Let's wait 70%. Almost done. Okay, as you can see, compared earlier, it is successfully committed. Hold on. Yeah. configuration committed successfully. Just close this one and we go on some testing. Let's do IP config again. Yep, we're still using 192.168.22.51. So for us to test, let's do a release renew. Let's see. Okay. Enter. IP address should be 192.168.22.50 by right. Actually, while waiting, we can also check the network interface in here. Yeah, interfaces. Yep, all green. Let's see. Still using that 51. Let's ping the internal if it is working or not. 192.168.22.1. Yep, it's already working. But for the DHCP, actually we can verify. Just go to network and DHCP, view allocation. Yeah, it is using 192.168.22.51. Okay, so we're all good. But let's try to do another IP config release and renew again. Okay. Wow, still using that 51. But if you want to change it to see that is perfectly working, we can go in here and then let's do some reconfiguration. And let's make this one as 55. Let's see what will happen. Enter and then okay. Then let's do another commit. Almost done, 99%. Okay, committed successfully. Let's check it again. If we do IP config in here, it should be still that 51, right? Because we configured the list for 2 days. So let's check. Let's do our release and renew. This should be 192.168.22.55 already. Waiting. You see? Now it is configured to 192.168.22.55. It means that our DHCP server is perfectly working. So if you are going to view the allocation in here, it's already 22.55. So we're all good. Thank you guys. Thank you for watching.